An AI-powered diversity scanner. So Adobe is trying to get a patent on this diversity scanner that uses artificial intelligence to scan images, basically give them a diversity score, and then it will let you know if you scored high enough or not. Okay, so let's dig in. Here is a copy of the patent application. So this is a patent application. It hasn't issued, so they haven't received a patent for it yet, but it was just published. Its title is System and Method for Diversity Auditing, and the publication number, in case anybody wants to look it up, is US 2023 0267764. And you can see the applicant is Adobe Inc. Out of San Jose. That's where their headquarters are, which is, woke central, right? Well, I don't know if it's Los Angeles or Silicon Valley, but they're both very close to the center of wokeness. So it will be fun to go through and look at this patent application based on that's where it's coming from. So I think figure 5 at a really high level will kind of show us what's going on. So I'm just going to walk through that. First, what this system does is it identifies a set of images. Then it detects a face in each of the set of images using this face detection network. Then it classifies the face in each of the set of images based on a sensitive attribute using an image classification network. So when this says classifies the face based on a sensitive attribute, that's when you're getting some kind of diversity scoring or metric. So you latch onto someone's face and then you basically and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but that's where you're deciding what kind of diversity metrics this particular image has. Then after that step, you generate the distribution of the sensitive attribute in the set of images based on the classification, and then you compute a diversity score for the set of images based on the distribution. This Adobe AI has the power to not only identify racial stereotypes, but to perpetuate them automatically. Okay, you'll see in just a little bit. So this technology identifies the diversity of an image based on a sensitive attribute. So this is what they say that is. The term sensitive attributes refers to characteristics that can describe a person's appearance or related to protected classes of individuals. Examples of sensitive attributes include race, gender identity, and age. Okay? I'm kind of curious about the gender identity. Because in today's world, don't you have to ask someone, because you can't really tell, right? So you need to ask them what they are. But hey, if you have a computer that does it, maybe that would be good. Because a person can't, make a judgment call based on how someone looks, right? That's wrong. Isn't it wrong? But if your computer does it, that's probably, okay. So this was an interesting piece from this patent application. It says, in some cases, the user may wish to be provided with a set of images depicting a diverse group of people. In other cases, the user may wish to quantify the diversity of people that are depicted in images that are present on a website. So does that sound kind of like they're giving somebody a throttle, like a diversity throttle, and you can turn it up and turn it down? And when it says, in other cases, the user may wish to quantify the diversity of people, does that mean you might want to not have too many of a certain, I don't know, that sounds a little sketchy, Adobe. Now a little bit more in this diversity throttle, as I'm calling it. They don't call it that, but just from what I've read, it kind of sounds like that is maybe what it is. In paragraph 40, it says, for example, the machine learning apparatus may compute a diversity score based on comparing the distribution and the known distribution, and determine that a set of images is below a predetermined threshold of diversity in the number of different types of the sensitive attributes that are depicted by the set of images. So basically somebody says hey, this set of images that I'm looking at, they're not diverse enough. That's kind of what it's saying. Then it continues, the machine learning model may then augment the set of images with additional retrieval images until the augmented set of images meets or exceeds the predetermined threshold of diversity. Okay, so I'm imagining something like this. You're using this system and maybe a little window pops up that just says, your portfolio lacks diversity. Would you like to auto-generate some token racial stereotypes to kind of balance it out? Something like that. That would be super useful. Because nothing says fighting systemic bias like creating a machine that can stereotype at scale. The patent application also says this: some examples of the apparatus further include an image collection component configured to collect the plurality of images from a website. So although Adobe has the Creative Cloud that people can use, license all sorts of images from, when they refer here to the fact that you could collect images from a website, I think that could also include the website of a company, for example, like a law firm, a CPA firm, consulting firm, any of these kind of company websites that have directories with images of all their employees or consultants, lawyers, CPAs, whatever. So it seems like you could use this technology to do some kind of diversity audit on some other company that you want to see what kind of diversity score they get. Maybe that is where they are getting, some people are saying that this could be used in the corporate world to look at companies' employees to see how diverse they are. Here's a paragraph that specifically talks about auditing. It says, referring to Figure 5, a user may want to audit a set of images displayed on a website or stored in a database to determine if they depict people that are representative of a certain level of diversity in one or more sensitive attributes, such as race, gender, and age. This patent application talks about giving these set of images a diversity score. So here's a little bit more on how they would calculate that diversity score. Scoring component computes a diversity score for a plurality of images based on the distribution provided by distribution component 730. In at least one embodiment, scoring component computes the diversity score by comparing the distribution and the baseline distribution. So, and there's starts to be some formulas, but I think basically what it's saying is they have kind of an expectation or baseline distribution for how many, what the diversity should look like. Men, women, white, Asian, black, Hispanic, all that stuff kind of compiled in some sort of distribution for what they think it should look like. And then they run through the images and come up with what the images actually look like. And then they compare those distributions and determine if you met the distribution that you were hoping for or not hoping for, whatever. So using machine learning, the AI comes up with a diversity score because nothing says inclusive like reducing a person's identity down to a number. Okay, that may not be exactly how this works because it looks like you come up with a diversity score for a set of images. So that would mean a person's identity is reduced to something that just goes into one number, which to me is like, you mean I don't even get my own number? I'm just a metric that goes into computing one number for the whole set of us. It didn't really dig into a lot of the details on how an individual image is really scored, but you have these attributes based on what somebody is, and they referred to like gender, race, age, and I'm sure you get some kind of, it has to be a number. This is a computer. It has to have some kind of number that's looking at. All right, so that was a very quick look at this new patent application from Adobe on their diversity auditing AI. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. All right, until next time, see you later.